Welcome, Marjan, to onrichmondhill.com's Candidate Conversations.
Thank you so much, Marj, for having me tonight and giving me opportunity to have the conversation with our neighbors.
Very good. Okay. I have 4 main questions for you, followed by 7 fun questions that really have the purpose of getting to know you. I'm going to start with our first question. What are your concerns with the climate crisis?
So the climate crisis actually is really is really valid, and the concerns that we as citizens in Ontario has, and everyone in the world, I think we need to really take it seriously. It's coming back to us. We have seen different disasters that happened in different parts of the world, including Ontario, in the summer that we have seen the fires. It was part of that climate crisis that we are facing, and I am so concerned about the backward motion of Ontario, because we have gone so far closing the fuel plant and make sure that we are moving toward the cleaner energy, but unfortunately for kind of brought it back to brought us backward kind of, and I'm so concerned about that, and I'm concerned about our environment too, because we cannot don't think about our future generation, and we are responsible to answer to our next generation. Once my son actually grow up, probably he will ask me, where was that beauty of Ontario, and where was that clean water that we were drinking once I was younger? And we need to have answer for that. We need not only showcase how we care, but also bring the policies that help the next generation use the environment as we are using right now, and make sure that we are prepared for the emergencies that is happening with the climate change. I think not only human have been affected, many species have been affected too, and it is us that we can actually make some changes with having some policies that bring us back to the route to have climate actions that is feasible and is effective. We need to make sure that the climate actions that we are bringing, we are cutting the pollutions, and we are making we are walking through the cleaner environment, having green energy, bringing more green spaces, preserving some environmental, prime environmental lands in order for our next generation. There are amazing plans that we have in Ontario Liberal Party. For instance, we are going to bring back the electric vehicle funding for families who can be able to afford having the economical, electric vehicles. It had been scrapped by Ford, and right now in the election they are starting to talk about that. It is unfortunate. We need to actually be consistent with what we are doing.
Okay, good. We'll move on to the second question. The pandemic exposed some cracks in our healthcare system. What changes would you like to see made to make things better?
As you know, I'm a nurse myself, so being in healthcare, especially during COVID, was not easy for many healthcare practitioners. And knowing that in middle of a pandemic, there were wage cap on public health sectors, and many nurses requested the early retirement, knowing that the government really didn't care about them. And knowing that although, the healthcare practitioners were exhausted, they have been forced to go back to work, even if they have the COVID. In our hospital, we got 300, sick calls in one day after Ford government proposed for the nurses to come back to work and take care of the COVID positive patient if they do have COVID, and they actually transmit a disease to each other. It is really tough to see that's happening. And also the human resource, problem in healthcare is getting thicker and thicker. And what we are seeing right now is the wait time for different procedures. The wait time for the surgeries for cancer surgeries, for different medical imaging, or for surgeries for that affect people's life, and in the long run will affect healthcare as well. It's happening because we don't have enough staff, and we need to invest on staffing. And one of the lessons that we have learned during COVID was the amount of investment that we need to make in our long-term care, and the amount of investment we need to make for the community health. So we need to bring more home care to people's home. People who are able to live in their own home with a bit of support from nursing support, or having a PSW to come and help them with the bathing or making meal for them or taking care of them. So it will prevent those people be forced to go and live in long-term care homes. And we also need to downsize the long-term care homes, rather than institutionalizing people and treating them as they're sick. They're not sick. They are living their life. It is part of the life process. We just need to provide the support they need.
Very good. Okay, thank you. Next question. What role should online learning have for students in elementary and high school?
Yeah, online education was not easy, and we have seen that during COVID. My son is 10 years old. He's going to Bonnley Public School, and it was really tough 2.5 years, being online, and it was tough for families as well. And right now, I'm so glad that we ended up sending my son to school, although it was really tough decision to make. But yes, I'm so glad that the collaboration between family and teachers are really great, that we can accomplish as much as we can. But I can see so many kids have been left behind with online education, especially with hybrid learning. It is so much on the shoulder of teachers. They have to take care of kids in the class, at the same time kids at home. It actually showcased that the pandemic and the whole model that we have to do. It was okay at some points that we have to keep our kids safe in home, but continuously moving forward to having mandatory online learning is not really accurate. Some kids cannot really do well with online education, and we need to bring people back, kids back to school. They need that interaction to each other. So this is a really important decision that we need to make sure that the online schooling is not going to be mandatory, as opposed the plan from the Ford government, that they're trying to make the mandatory online learning be continued in education system. So we are going to actually scrap that. It can be electively, people can choose, kids can choose, parents can decide if their kids need to stay home and be online. But forcing parents to and kids to be online on mandatory online education is not really the way we can accomplish. And the only reason that is behind the scene, which is not being talked about, is the fact that Ford government tried to cut budget from wherever he could. Cutting budget from education and putting it in the highway is not really the right way to do, and it's not right for the future of Ontario.
Very good, thank you. Fourth question. What can the provincial government do to make housing more affordable here in our riding?
Mhm. So there are a couple of points in housing that yes, we do need to have more homes. I'm actually knocking doors and I'm talking to people. There are so many younger kids that they are trying to leave the nest, as it's happening in our family too. I have two young brothers. My parents live in Aurora, and they're trying to live in and buy their own home, but they don't want to leave the city. They don't want to go far away. They built their community here. They just belong to this community and they want to live here. And this is really important, that make sure that we are planning to have enough homes for the people in our community, to make sure that kids who have been grown and want to have their own raise their own family, they can actually afford to have a home. We have different policies. We have rent to own homes that we are proposing. We're going to have build 1.5 homes in 10 years, and it's going to be different types of home for different family with different budget. So it is really important to make sure the type of development that we are proposing to communities is not going to take away from the green lands and wetlands, as opposed to what's happening right now, that we are losing our Oak Ridges moraine. We need to make sure that we are not touching our environment. We have some, still we have underdeveloped areas in our riding that we can still develop. And in the conversation that I had with both mayor in Aurora and Richmond Hill, there is some, permits have been given, and some land developers sitting on those permits with the appetite to have the price of the lands increased, and then they start building. And so there are certain, number of permits that these cities will give to the, each year. And once the permits have been given, and developers don't develop it, it will actually increase the price in the city. So this is really important, and we have the plan for we call the policy for use it or lose it. So if they don't want to develop, they will lose their permits. That permits can be given to someone else.
Very good. Okay, thank you for that. Move to the second part, where I'm going to ask you 7 fun facts. This will be done quickly and with a smile. Okay. What is your favorite color?
White.
White. Okay. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Always a chocolate, for sure.
Chocolate. Okay. Have you ever driven a motorcycle?
Oh, not myself, but I have been in a passenger seat.
Okay.
I loved it.
Okay. Do you ever wear socks that don't match?
Oh, I did. You know what I do? I actually use not only socks, but I actually share the shoes with my son. So we actually change the pairs, and it is so fun to walk once you have similar socks and shoes with different color.
Okay. What's your favorite genre of music?
Oh, I'm more into pop and rock pop.
Okay. Can you play any musical instruments?
Oh, I'm so bad at it. I'm actually I used to play guitar a little good, but I think I'm losing that perfection. So yeah, a little piece
Okay.
of guitar. Yeah.
Last question. Do you chew gum?
Oh, really rarely, if it's if it's sore a little, I love it. But yeah, not too long. For a few minutes.
Okay. Thank you for participating, for doing those 7 questions, the 4 tougher ones. I wish you well with this campaign, and looking forward to seeing you in the community.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure meeting you. And I'm so sorry that my parrot was singing sometimes during conversation.
Absolutely fine. Thank you very much.